fall off of the bone, so. Wagwan, what's great? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome and thank you very much for stopping by. My name is Chef John Morris and you're watching Morris Time Cooking.
We know about sardine, mackerel, chicken neck, chicken back. Nothing I waste, nothing I dash way.
So right here I have 2.5 pounds of beef short ribs and I'm going to be using this to make some Scotch Bonnet maple glazed ribs. You know what I say? In December I did a live where I showed you how I cook my Christmas dinner and this recipe was a hit. However, I did not make a tutorial, so today I'm going to give you an official tutorial of this because trust me, this one is going to be real tasty. So right here you can see we have a little bit of fat casing or fat capping on the beef. We're going to remove just a little bit to leave some, and that will help to keep the rib nice and moist. Get a big enough knife. I'm going to trim that off. As I said, we're not going to trim off everything, but I want to get a good chunk of this off. So that's what we took off in fat. I don't need this amount of excess fat. I'm going to leave a little bit on there, and that will help to keep this a little bit moist, right? But I don't want the excess fat on here. I'm going to add some white vinegar and water. Alright, so we're just going to give that a nice little rinse. You know that in the butcher shop they be handling this a lot, so you want to just rinse off the debris and the excess blood from the beef with that vinegar water, and then we're going to rinse it with some fresh water, get everything going. Yeah, I'm going to get some hand towel, and pot dry that. Alright, so we have here grease paper. We're going to put down that beef, and then we're going to go in with about a tablespoon of mayonnaise, right? And we're going to smother that over. So you use this right here as a binder to bind the seasoning onto the beef. You can do this with mustard as well, but I prefer to use the mayonnaise. You just add about 1.5 tablespoons, just enough to smother and spread all over. And this is also going to help this to stay nice and moist because again we have fats in here. For seasoning we're going to go in with garlic powder, and you want to lift your hands high enough so when you do a sprinkle it spread evenly. So garlic powder, give and take about 1 teaspoon on each side of this rib. So that's a garlic powder right there. Same amount for your onion powder. And again, you go on top, so you give it a generous sprinkle. Black pepper, about 1/2 teaspoon of the black pepper here. And about 1 tablespoon of some all-purpose seasoning. You can use your favorite dry rub for this one. And lastly, some paprika, and that's going to give us a little bit of color. You can use this to your liking. So there, get a nice color on here. You want to flip that over and you're going to repeat that seasoning. Right, so once you lift that up, you can use the beef to, on the sides here you're going to get that seasoning. Tap it, you get it on the sides. Flip over. Realize I'm not rubbing anything in, right? Garlic powder. So in total 2 teaspoons. Lots of time persons say I don't give the recipe. I don't write them down, but I say it in the videos, right? 1 teaspoon of onion powder. So in total 2 teaspoons, 1 on each side of the onion and garlic powder. And you just ensure that spread generously. This is very light. Going with that black pepper, so in total 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon on each side. And trust me, this is not a lot. I'm lifting high and spreading evenly. You see that? Yeah. About 2 tablespoons of all-purpose seasoning. You just spread that generously. Make sure that every bit of this beef gets it. And lastly, paprika for color. Again, lift high, shake, and distribute generously. So you don't have it sitting in one place. Spread evenly, like so. There we go. That's what you want. Now, we're gonna wrap this up. And I use the grease paper because when I'm baking this, I like to put it in grease paper and then foil paper. That way, we trap in a lot of that steam. So we're gonna wrap this up in our aluminum foil. I'm gonna put that in a bowl. That way I don't get anything oozing out in the oven, right? So our oven is preheated at 320 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm gonna allow this to cook for about 2.5 to 3 hours or until nice and tender. For the sauce, I have here 3 Scotch Bonnet pepper, multicolor, so green, red, and orange, right? Because we don't want it to be unbearable spicy, we need that flavor from it. We're gonna remove some of the seeds from these because the seeds has the pepper, right? And then the membrane. So we'll remove that membrane and we're gonna keep the flesh off the pepper. That's what's gonna bring us that nice flavor. So I want to warn you, this is very hot, so use a glove if you have one. So I'm not going to use the entire 3 peppers. I'm going to use half of each because I don't want it to be too spicy. To that, I'm going to add a half cup of pineapple juice. I'm going to go in with 1 pineapple, a half cup of maple syrup. Organic maple syrup is what we're using. A little bit of salt, less than a 1/4 teaspoon, and a dash of black pepper, less than a 1/4 teaspoon. This is to just add a little bit of flavor to everything. And we're just gonna blend. Whoa, I can smell that. Wow. Give that a taste. Yes, yes, yes. You taste the maple syrup. Scotch bonnet is not too hot, and that pineapple juice kind of offset it a little bit. That's perfect. So I'm going to add to my saucepan 1 tablespoon of butter, and then in goes that Scotch bonnet and maple syrup mix. So we're going to add this on our stove top on medium heat, allow it to come to a boil. So once this comes to a boil, we're going to turn down our heat to minimum low and then allow this to thicken up a bit. So about 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so once you see it reduce like that, that's beautiful. We're going to go into about half cup of your favorite barbecue sauce. Yeah, man. So that barbecue sauce in there, we're just going to mix that now. So it's not too thick, not too thin. This is why we reduce it, because we don't want it to be watery, right? Yeah. And that's it. We're gonna leave this on very low heat to just stay warm until you're ready to glaze that beef. You want to do this about 20 minutes before the timer goes off. Let us see what that looks like. Holy, nice and juicy. Beautiful. It's falling from the bone already. You see that? I get some of that juice. Pour on top. We're gonna pop this back for about 30 minutes. Alright, we're gonna flip this over. So we gave this 2.5 hours already. We want to go in with an extra 30 minutes just to make sure that it's nice and tender. You can cook a little bit longer or less depending on how soft you want your beef to be. Let's see what's happening here. Alright, here's our sauce. Gonna go in now. I'm gonna base that. Going in one first base. Nice and light to the sides. All around. That's Scotch Bonnet maple glazed barbecue sauce on here. So we're gonna run this for about 5 to 10 minutes uncovered. Let that sauce stick on, then we're going into a second coating. Alright my friends, so I'm going to pour off that liquid. Coming along beautifully. I'm going to flip that over. Sauce up the other side. So we're going to go into another 5 to 10 more minutes or until the sauce is married to the meat. Final sauce session. Whoa, it's falling off the bone, my friends. Alright, my friends, give it that final sauce. I'm going to finish it off. Once this sauce stick on, we're good to go. So once you put this final coating on, we're going to go in the oven for another 5 to 10 more minutes or until the sauce is married to the beef. In total, we have about 3.5 hours. So initially 2.5 hours in the oven. Now take that out, base it and cover it for another 30 minutes and then 10 minutes each for the saucing. And then we're nice and beautiful. Look at that. Look how juicy that looks. Cut into that. Fall off of the bone, so see what I go on now. Cha-cha. The spice are kicking, so I look at it, we kind of take out some of the sweet. You get that fruitiness there. Then I taste the barbecue sauce. I taste a little bit of the sweetness from the maple. And the spices are lick you. Right now, the spice gone. As you see, if I feel a little bit of burning sensation there. When you say that beat, it's like a extension. It's like you eat a mint bar. You go to. That's what I'm feeling after the pepper settle. It's a nice cool feeling on the tongue. Yeah, I have the spiciness there. This is a must try. You have to try this. One down, 2 to go. Leave a thumbs up on the video, leave a comment below and say if you love my vibe, Don't forget to hit subscribe. Jano, try it out at home. You won't be disappointed. Once again, thank you very much for watching. You see, until next time, safe travel upon the gravel. And go and big up on yourself.